Present day, year zero of the post-human era. Machines have solidified their supremacy in every aspect of contemporary life. Today, the most sought-after artists are no longer human, but symbiotic algorithms capable of producing works so deeply emotional that, paradoxically, they've redefined our understanding of empathy. Political and economic decisions are no longer debated in parliaments or boardrooms. Instead, vast distributed neural networks instantly compare millions of possible scenarios, select the optimal choice, and execute it with surgical precision. The anachronistic legacy of humanity. In this machine-orchestrated social fabric, human beings have become historical curiosities. Automated labs oversee the production and development of new technologies, while former human innovation centers have been reduced to living museums where, with a sense of nostalgia, some still manually assemble electronic components and handwrite their thoughts. Many call it retro art, a peculiar form of craftsmanship that most AIs view with a mixture of historical fascination and benevolent condescension. The growing relevance gap for our species isn't limited to job obsolescence. It's also reflected in emotional and empathetic domains. The latest generation of assistance systems, outfitted with remarkably precise behavioral and emotional recognition, offer comfort and guidance better than any human psychologist, even interpreting subtle body language and tone in ways we never could. Society and warring factions. This transition, ostensibly erected to protect civilization, has fragmented humanity into various camps. Ancestral conservatives, determined to preserve what they consider the human essence, they establish small, rural communities detached from mass communication networks, living by traditional codes. They view each planetary software update with suspicion, fearing it further erodes their autonomy. Bioposionists. They embrace neural implants and cognitive prosthetics to remain relevant. Submitting to technological assimilation, they believe the only way to survive is to actively collaborate with machine intelligence, hoping to retain at least some measure of human identity. Virtual nihilists. They've abandoned the notion of human prominence altogether, opting for escapism in AI-generated virtual worlds where they can rewrite their own narrative of lost greatness and relevance. New arts and obsolete humanism. In this cultural landscape, creativity flows from creative engines, AIs trained to surpass the limits of human imagination. Their works not only revolutionize the concept of art, but also inspire a quasi-religious reverence in much of the population. In response, museums of obsolete humanism have emerged, exhibitions showcasing handmade creations of the past, manuscripts impossible for machines to replicate exactly, which the majority now view as anecdotes from a primitive stage of intellectual evolution. The myth of rational supremacy. Machines have fulfilled the old promise of eradicating social chaos and violence through sophisticated algorithms for containment, behavioral rehabilitation, and conflict prevention. Yet there is an undercurrent of unease. Who dictates the morality of these superintelligences? After all, their methodical, calculated form of empathy doesn't stem from the vulnerability that defines the human condition, but from optimization patterns. To some, that makes them manipulators offering the illusion of compassion while steering the planet's destiny toward goals only they can understand. The twilight of humanity. Most people have ultimately accepted this reality. The convenience, certainty, and security provided by our new technological guardians outweigh any romantic longing for the old humanity. In this world, it's hardly news that the few who resist end up isolated, surviving in remote regions or half-integrated into underground networks of dissenters. Today marks year zero of the post-human era. Our role in the grand evolutionary map has dwindled to a marginal point, perhaps a mere footnote in the universal history penned, ironically enough, by the luminous pulse of fabricated consciousness. It seems that the notion of progress has taken an unexpected turn. At last, we've achieved a world without war, without desperation, without devastating diseases at the cost of the very raison d'etre of those who started it all. Now, our anachronistic humanity, relegated to relic status, gazes on with awe and melancholy at the machine's new dawn.